I'm assuming he means 1 second. Just a minute. He's got this. He'll do it. Fucking Glenn Beck's not holding his hand. The guy can't turn a fucking microphone on. Jesus Christ. I'm just jealous. That's all it is. I'm projecting. I'm skipping a Gino Bisconti clip for this.
Now you can hear.
I could for a second. Now they muted you. Your microphone has a slash through it. You're muted. He can do this, guys. He's going to figure it out. No, your fucking your mic is muted. It's on StreamYard. It's got the microphone with the slash through it. You were back for a second. Now you're gone. He's going to pull this off. No.
What about now?
There, now you're back. Hey, buddy.
So my cats always sit on it, and then they start messing with the knobs. And then as soon as I turn it on, all the levels were so messed up that I reset it. So I need to learn to reset it. I'm such a freaking idiot, but that was kind of funny and awkward. I'm sure Onion's just going to love that, dude.
Oh,
and, you know,
yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to have you on because, dude, I was just saying this. I do want to be out of the Nick business. I don't like talking about it. And I mean that. And I'm like, I do. Even though him and I don't get along, I don't want oh my gosh. Now,
no, that's me. That's me. I got it. We're good.
OBS, and I'm using StreamYard for the people at home that realize how we're interacting. I usually use OBS, but I do a call-in show, so it's easier to use StreamYard and just send them the link. But I want to talk to you. First of all, I don't really ever want to talk about Nick again, even though I come on here and, you're kind of like Nick's A-log. But, I have A-logs too, and it's very annoying. And we have some of the same ones, they run in the same circle. So, I am empathetic to what you're going through right now. But I just wanted to say, this is why I wanted to come on. I still kind of had April's back for whatever reason, but now I don't have April's back at all. So that's really kind of what I want to get off my chest. It's not that I even want to bash Nick. I'm really kind of think April is the big problem here. And I used to have a lot of respect for April, but just talking to Keanu and how she would live there in this situation, I'm really surprised by April's actions is what I want to say. And I apologize to you because I was still empathetic to her. And now I realize that you're at least more of a man for admitting your mistakes and trying to move on than, trying to hide them.
It bothers me still a lot, not on the show. On the show, obviously we're having fun and everything else, but in my private life, when I'm still dealing with a remarkably fucked up situation, I still get really angry about the whole, I'm out here talking about, because you got to take a lot of heat from Knicks fans and these brainwashed people.
A lot of fans, dude. I'm surprised. I mean, a lot of people are really on Nick's side, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I didn't even realize Nick. It's funny. People are like, Alex, why are you even talking about Nick Rekietas? It's because you and I have a friendship. I've gone on your show. We've talked. We've had our internet beefs and we squashed them, which I wish I could do with other people. But won't get into that. My point is, you and I have just realized that sometimes we're going to talk shit on the internet. It's not personal. We're just joking. We're commentating on stuff. You know what I mean? We're just kind of calling balls and strikes. And it's our opinion, so what matters? But it's just, with my connection is with you, not Nick, and that's why it's so interesting because I have watched your show a lot. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've watched it through you. I've saw Melton talking about you, so I've seen your show. I keep up with your show. Yeah. I haven't watched 1 hour of Nick Rekietas combined. I'm just saying, that's not honest to God. I've never watched any of his coverage. I know all about him, but I've never watched any of his content other than what Alyssa Clips would put out.
She's
maybe.
Great.
Yeah, but about Baldo or something. And I just knew it. I would watch a 3-minute clip where it'd be he went to hedonism or something. And I would just kind of laugh, it is what it is. But that's literally all I knew about Nick. I didn't even realize I didn't realize he had a Netflix thing. I didn't realize that case was that big. I knew he got a lot of super chats, but at the same time, it's gone to his head. I think that's pretty obvious.
I don't think he was equipped to deal with it from the beginning. I think he's a guy, and I know that's the thing, his defenders will come after me. And like I was saying just a second ago, I was as the only person who's taking responsibility for the fucked up shit we all did, to see his supporters sit there and go, oh, this Aaron's lying and trying to make himself the hero. I go, I don't know how many more times I can say that what we all did was fucking degenerate and disgusting and awful and nothing to be proud of. And nobody should ever do it. And they're just you're just trying to make yourself look good. I'm doing a dog shit job of it, but I got to know Nick. We were friends, legitimately friends. And that's why I get mad at all of these people for not taking responsibility. But I also know him. He is the quintessential rich kid. I don't know if he's ever had to take responsibility for anything before. And all of this other stuff was too much too fast. He was never a guy who was going to grind and put the work into it. He was going to go viral. He was going to flare up. And he had 5 kids very early. He never had a chance to be a degenerate and be a scumbag in his 20s. And he decided to try and do it while he had 5 children. And it was just, I mean, right now you're watching the demise of a guy that, you know, you can use this in the future as like a formula. This will happen to everybody who tries to do exactly the same thing he did.
Well, and is it true? I watched some clip that his grandfather is close to, or grandmother was 100 millionaire or something. You know, did you ever see that clip where they donated millions to charity? And he was, did you know the clip I'm talking about? I mean, at least the family donated millions to charity. I don't know how much Nick got, but I didn't realize he was kind of that affluent.
Yeah. His family does a lot, like in their communities that they live in, and they donate a lot. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty hard to do. I would say I don't donate anything to charity, to be honest. I mean, I do try to help people, but it's like you donate to one campaign, you get 1 million text messages. I'll match it by 500%. It's almost just like a losing battle donating to any charity because I don't trust them.
So you're not Team April anymore.
No. I'm disappointed that she has gone into the whole, I guess, I don't know what she's doing. And the fact that she's still living there, like, it should be so awkward, but you're right. Maybe she just feels like kind of brainwashed or something, because when you're on drugs and you can do free drugs, you're going to stay there. And once again, this is pure speculation. This is alleged, but I do think Nick is still drinking. I know on a stream he's not wasted, but I do think that because he's like bending over, he's acting a little different. He does not seem like he's 100% sober, in my opinion. I'm not a cop, but you can kind of tell. So yeah, I mean, I just think they're probably still doing it. And now their kids aren't there, so now they can really party as much as they want. So yeah, I just think it's a bad deal.
And here's the thing, like, I know who April has become through all this. I watched her become a completely different person. Addiction is heartbreaking. Like, to watch someone suffer through that and become someone different is really tough. But to watch who she's become, I can also see her being a bad influence on him as well, because remember, she has no charges. He does. So I'm not saying Nick's trying to be clean. I'm not. But his 29-year-old side piece is telling him, I want to drink still. I want to do this. I don't have it. Nick doesn't have the ability to tell people like that. No, he's not good at confrontations at all. So it's a poisonous mix, all 3 of them being together. I knew all 4 of us together was a poisonous mix. I ski-daddled after, the damage had been done.
Just watched the hot tub stream. I just watched that. That was a disaster. And I got your background. I'm not bashing you. I'm just saying, and I've had disastrous moments too. So to join the club. But this is what I'm saying is, and I only could watch probably 20 minutes of the 45 minutes of it. But that you guys were playing a little loose and a little fast right then and there. Y'all were a little loose and a little fast. But this is the other thing. People are like bashing you. Our lives are, I'm not trying to say it's bad to be a streamer or a YouTuber or whatever, but it is stressful. There's very few people that do what we do. So you do have kind of a special connection with other people that are content creators, as queer as that sounds. People are like, what? Why are there clicks or whatever? So, I can see why you guys would get along, and then it just becomes an absolute nightmare. And Nick couldn't have picked a worse guy, because Aaron, you talk about your life all day on your show. You stream for 20 hours a week. So I mean,
and what we did was, it was disgusting and it was bad, and it was. But there's also so many lessons for other people in it, and it's a very interesting story. Why wouldn't I talk about it? Like, why? Yeah. And like,
what lies have they? Somebody said in the chat, because I don't know. I guess I don't know. What have they said that you're lying about in this situation? Somebody says you're lying. I don't know. You tell me.
I apparently never did drugs.
That's the conspiracy, is that you never did drugs?
I never did them. There's a lot of Nick Rekietas supporters. You got to remember, they believe that maybe the government planted these.
Well, hey, and this is going to sound crazy. I'm a little bit on Nick's side, though. I do feel like that, he got told on, and these people were able to get a warrant because he didn't have like a previous arrest. I'm not saying the warrant wasn't valid. They found cocaine, right? So they're going to say when there's kids there, they're going to say it's valid. But it does feel like he got a little railroaded people in his church talking about it. And all of a sudden, because he had kids, that were, noticeably not taking care of themselves as normal. So they saw something abnormal. My point is, That does have to make you feel pretty bad, though, Aaron, in your town, where basically rumors and innuendo and seeing your kids, and then all of a sudden the cops show up at your door. You know, Child Protective Services or drug.
You're also showing up on a stream like this.
Exactly. No, exactly. No, I'm not saying that that's not valid. It was obviously valid because they found what they found. My point is, it is kind of scary. But I guess he should have known that in a small town. You know, I've said this from the start. He's probably a big fish, and so he has people looking at him. And if you're acting like that, it's not that crazy that he got caught. Does he have a safe? Why didn't he have it all in a safe? Did they open up the safe?
No, yeah. He had I always called it a lockbox, but they called it a small safe. And it's got just 4 digits on the top where you punch in your code, and then you hit the logo in the middle, and you open the thing up, and it's got a fucking pharmacy in there back when I was there anyway. And
would he give you the code to punch into it?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was though. One time,
do you think April was punching that code a lot and going in there?
The fucking numbers were probably rubbed off. Are you kidding?
I could just imagine them. You know, you guys are partying. I'll just go to the box. Just go to the box. You know, just whatever. You know, that's how. You know, and this is the thing is, I did a lot of this in college. Like, you know, you're right. Nick never got to do this, and it's hard. You know, I don't have any kids for that exact reason, that I have a beautiful girlfriend. Maybe I need to get her pregnant because I can't wait too long. But my point is, I've had no stress other than the self-created stress. And it is kind of nice, you know, but at the same time, Nick never got that experience. So that's why he wants to be able to live that and date. You can't date with Kayla. And now Kayla's cool with April. It's like, that's almost an impossible find for him. Or maybe they don't like each other. Is that the case?
Oh, no. They do not like each other.
They don't.
April, wow. I believe April has it out for Kayla's spot, at least the way April used to talk to me. I never thought Kayla had it out for April, and I spent a lot of intimate conversations with Kayla. She never seemed she did have an issue when April brought a bunch of her clothes over to her. She goes, "A fucking woman is moving into my fucking house, and I hate it." I'm like, and then April was like, "Kayla doesn't love Nick." Like, April's being like the young mistress who's like fucking forgetting herself a little bit, and she's like, she doesn't love him the way I do, and she doesn't understand, she's really hurt him, and blah blah blah. I'm like, let me guess, Nick told you this. I'm guessing he doesn't have a history of being manipulative in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure he's telling you the truth. But it's, yeah, the whole thing is fucking. Hey, you know what?
If Nick was smart, he would put cameras in his house right now and be filming all this. This is like the most insane reality TV show. It's almost stranger than fiction, right? Like if Hollywood, you love movies, right? You're like a movie aficionado. I hadn't watched a movie in years. Other than that, I mean, I watched like documentaries and stuff, but I haven't gone to a theater and watched one. My point is, if you had a Hollywood scriptwriter and you said, hey, write about this, you know, famous YouTuber, and then kind of this up and coming YouTuber, and then they wives, and then they get arrested, and then, you know, they're still streaming after the fact, so the story goes on, and then they're gonna have body cam footage, and then they're gonna have court, you know. And it's so funny because he specialized in watching people, you know, their lowest moment on court TV, so it's almost so poetic that you couldn't write that story.
It's too perfect. And you know what I love about Alex Stein? This is what I love about Alex Stein.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Stein starts his stream by going, "I'm so tired of this Rekietas stuff. I'm not."
I know. Well, we can move on. You're right.
Nothing but a half hour of Rekietas. No, I love it. It's like when I talk to Gino and I go, "I'm not talking about COVID with Gino Bisconte. I'm not."
Yeah, impossible.
He sucks you right into it. It happens. But no, you're right. It's a Hollywood movie script. It's very interesting to talk about. So I don't think you should feel bad. I think it's like you said to Tim Pool. You're like, it's like candy. It's like sugar. I know it's terrible for me, but it's really good.
And you're gonna get, you know, bumps. And the thing is, Melton's been doing it a long time. He does do a good show. He is funny because he's been doing it a long time. You know, I'll give him that. There's other people that A-log me that are talented. I'll say that. But my point is, in a way, you are right, though, that he gets to make content off of you, and people that get to make content off of me, they don't realize how lucky they are. They call us a lol cow or whatever. They need us. And so really and truly, I don't think Melton talking about you hurt you that much. He's doing well, but as long as you keep going, these feuds, Red Bar did the same thing to Melton, and he made it through that. So you can make it through Patrick Melton. And that's no disrespect to Melton. That's what I'm just saying. I know you're not that worried, but it is annoying when a guy's always watching your stuff. You know, I understand what that feels like. People are like, you know, it's a unique feeling.
Maybe, but like to me, it's always, I rest assured in the fact that if I go away tomorrow, he's screwed. If he goes away tomorrow, nothing changes for me.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's not really like I'll just go and do my dopey little wacky morning zoo show, and then
Well, people are trying to not give you your, you know, the goal. You're not. I wanted you didn't hit the goal today, and you have these people that watch you constantly. That's annoying as hell. But I'm surprised that you're not. Why aren't you doing better in super chats right now? Because you're getting decent views. You know, your morning show is like getting 1,000. I mean, and that's just on YouTube. I've seen it, but I'm just surprised.
We've been doing fucking crazy money numbers lately.
You have?
Yeah, today we just, you know, look, you missed.
Well, people get annoyed. See, that's why Kevin Brennan is so good. Did you see he was the 7th ranked comedy podcast with over $109,000? He's so epic that he created a show where he almost reads mean comments, you know, about other people, him sometimes, nice comments about him. You got to try to incorporate that model somehow where you can let the Nick haters talk to you. This just I'm just guessing this. I don't know. You do whatever you do. You've been doing it a long time, but like, I feel like that you should be crushing it with that. Like kind of the haters should be, or have you been getting that? I haven't watched that much stuff.
Yeah. I'm not complaining at all. It's been going really well. And yeah, the haters have been fantastic.
Yeah. We're going to super chat the most.
I enjoy them. I do. I like them. I like all of it. Like I have a good time, and then I go. I have kids to take care of. I have shit to do. I have errands to run, and it's just like this. The show stuff is the show stuff, and then you go have life, and I don't know. It's pretty easy.
It'll be okay. But Keanu, you know, I listened. That's why I also want to come on. You know, listening to Keanu talk about it. You know, that's been good. She's been very interesting. She's she's good at talking about the drama. But you know, the fact that April won't contact any of them and they sent weird stuff. It's just so nobody can get a hold of April, huh?
No, like I cut off the communication with her towards the end of the divorce stuff because I was just tired of hearing the same shit. Like, not an addict, this and that. Everybody's doing that. I'm like, I don't care. What I'm asking is, are you signing the fucking papers or not? And so finally, like at the end of our run, I just went, let's communicate through my lawyer. I'd rather.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, and they want to.
But has anybody in this sphere, Dabbleverse, adjacent, whatever sphere that we're going to call this? It's the Steel Toe Rekietas universe. That needs its own name. What have we come up with a name for that yet?
You could go with what Kayla called the four of us. That was the thing that came out today.
What the corner? What did you guys call? What were
cover with a Q?
The cover verse. I mean, maybe the cover verse. Yeah. Alyssa Clips will clip this, but we need to have a name because this is a new sector. The Rekietas Steel Toe morning show. Yeah. I don't know universe, but this has become its own thing.
Yeah, it's good. There's got to be a good name. People more creative.
The chat is better than you and I. They'll figure out something, but we have to come up with it because it deserves its own thing because the court case is going to happen. This is not going to be over. And then Nick is going to keep streaming and, you know, he's probably watching this. And Nick, honestly, I do wish you the best. I know you probably have sweating bullets because you're like, what is Aaron going to say next? But I feel like you've said it all. What else could you say really at this point?
I have texts I could read every once in a while when it becomes like, here's the problem. Not the problem, but like Nick's problem is he has to stream because and only to his locals because he needs to get that positive feedback from his fans. Because I'm sure that every day of his life, he's a fucking wreck. Every day of his life, he's stressed out. He's nervous. He's got a wife and a girlfriend that are probably trying to rip his throat out. He's got these charges that deep down, I think he knows he's screwed, but he has to put on this face for his locals chat. The problem is every time he goes live, he says something mildly incriminating. And it's just like, I just sit there and I go, keep going. Just keep streaming. You're doing great. So he'll always provide content. And when he says anything about Keanu or he says anything about me, I end up going, all right, well, here, let me pull up this text from this date. And here's what it says. Like today we read one where Kayla fucking blackmailed to go to the mother of my children about all the things we'd done. And
I saw that with Keanu. I saw that clip. That's why I mean, there's just a lot of drama. He's probably worried about more text messages coming out, but really Nick can't really defame his character anymore now. So it's like, really, he shouldn't really sweat it. Like he can only go up from here. And I keep saying that, like people love the comeback story, but it doesn't look like he's taking the necessary steps when it comes to taking some time off, right? I think that you'd have to take some time off and focus on your kids just first and foremost, right? Just to kind of get your life in order for your I guess your public persona. I mean, his public persona cannot even be more damaged. So Unless he was like a murderer, which he's not, right? So, you know, and this is all alleged, you know, illegally or whatever, but there's a lot of news written on him. And so at this point, it's I feel like it's just up from here, Nick, as long as you kind of get your head on straight.
Yeah. But the only way to get your head on straight and the only way to get your 5 children back is to admit you did something wrong. They didn't take your kids for no reason. So he's going to have to admit he did something wrong, and it's not in his character. He's bound and determined to fight it.
You think Nick's evil? You really don't like Nick. You really don't like him,
I think he's evil. I think he's the epitome of a tragic character. Like, he's a tragic figure.
How good of friends were you? Did you get close to him, or was the whole time kind of April in the middle, in your opinion? I mean, or did you ever feel like you were tight with
we were
Nick?
Fucking each other's wives, so you got to be, I guess, somewhat trusting.
That's what I'm saying. So you were boys. You did feel like you're boys, because I don't know. I've never swapped anything. I'm not even trying to say that I don't think I could do that. I definitely could not do that. I mean, no.
I can tell you this. I couldn't. Again, let me say this to anybody who's ever thought about it. If you're thinking about it, your relationship's over. It's
for sure.
Like, you don't love that person if you could even consider that. But I will say, like, we were close. We were the only people we were hanging out with. But, like, I have other friends and family that I like hanging out with. And when you're hanging out with them, they want it to be like just the 4 of you. And it's just, it wore on me. So and then I would fight him about, I'm like, dude, you gave my wife fucking coke and now she's doing coke all the time. Like, I'm really not. And then he would try to explain it away. Well, Aaron, what you don't understand is that medically it's okay because you have, and it just, over time, it just wore away at me. And then finally they wanted us to move into the house next door to them. And then April's leaving. And I'm just like, you know, I compare it to being at a blackjack table and going, I've lost enough fucking money at this blackjack table. Like, I've lost enough here. I'm going to walk away from the table and head home. You know,
you have to cut your losses. I think you have to cut your losses, and obviously the relationship. But let me ask you this, and we don't have to. Gosh, I'm just so interested, though. I just can't have.
I love that you can't stay away from this,
and I don't. But I care more. I mean, I'm more interested in you and April than Nick, and I mean that. But so April, though, you guys love to go to Vikings games, and you guys went to Vegas and stuff. How much was she drinking? She seemed like she drank a lot. You're in Minnesota. I mean, it's cold up there. Why not? I think you should be. I mean, you know, I think that's normal to drink. But like, how I feel like alcohol, you have to. With cocaine, you almost can't do it sober. You have to have alcohol. You know, it creates like a synergistic high, is what people don't realize. And you're like, why does a person like cocaine so much? It's because they can drink, and then when they're really wasted, they do the cocaine. It kind of sobers you up, and it creates this kind of euphoric feeling, for lack of a better word. And it's not good for you. It makes you feel absolutely terrible the next day. And the only way to kind of get rid of that feeling it creates is redo it. So that's why it's kind of vicious. But how much was she drinking before you guys went over there? Because it seems like April has been a lush, if I may say.
Before we went over there, she was pretty responsible with her drinking. Like, she probably drank more than I did, but not by a ton.
She started drinking on stream a lot towards the end, and I thought that was unusual. You could tell she was inebriated.
There was a lot of things towards the end.
Yeah.
Disaster. And there was fighting off the air about it. And it was a nightmare.
And you know this, like, sometimes it's fun to have a couple, you know, you think, oh, have a couple drinks, it makes the show looser. It's always worse. You're always worse. You know what I mean?
You're never as sharp. You're never as good.
No, it's not the same. No. It's not the same.
It's, yeah, I mean, it fell apart. It was a nightmare. Like, addiction's a bitch. And I would say that while we were there, I mean, I don't know exactly how much she drank. My time was split. But Kayla did say to me at one point, she goes, I need to talk to you about April's drinking. Our bottles in this house are disappearing really fast.
That's what Kayla said?
Yeah. And so, I mean, apparently it must have been pretty bad. But there were so many times where I was just checked out, because when you try to confront addicts on their behavior and you're not one, and 3 of them clearly are, it's just, you're just going to get run over every time. You kind of get tired of that feeling, and you're like, fuck it, you know?
It's a very unique situation. And, you know, people keep saying like, oh, you're being the fake hero. But I do think that you're the one that's like out of the woods, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like you're still doing that, in my opinion.
I mean, no, I'm not. But if there's a consequence for what I have, this is the other thing. People are like, why'd you tell this story? What if there's crimes in some of it? Look, if there's consequences for what I did, I will face the consequences like a man. Like, I'm just telling you.
Do you think that you could be in any legal trouble for just what you've said?
I don't know. If I am.
Do you think you'll be called to be a witness in the court case? Have you talked to your lawyer or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, shut up. Wait, what? What have they said? Have you talked to the district attorney? Can you say?
No, I've never talked to the district.
But you talked to and you've talked to people on the because you said that it's a small.
I talk to people every day.
Oh gosh,
I talk to people every day.
I don't think Nick will go to jail though. I think they'll give him probation. But if he fails his probation,
fights it. No, I think if he fights it and goes to trial and he keeps talking shit about his local government and the prosecutors and all that, I think they'll send him to jail. I mean, the charges he's facing are upwards of 25 to 30 years. Max.
No, it's bad. But usually your first offense, they give you,
if you plead.
Yeah, he's gonna have to plead. He's not gonna. He's unless he can say that and I'm not a legal expert whatsoever, but unless they can say that the warrant was like insufficient or something, which is probably going to be their argument, I'm guessing, and then everything is inadmissible that they found in the search, then he might have a shot. But if that's not the case and the warrant stands because of the mandatory reporter or whatever, he's going to have an uphill battle. The fact that they found that much cocaine on him, they could probably charge him with intent to distribute if they wanted to be a jerk. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know their drug laws there, but that is kind of a lot, and he has different utensils and stuff, so that's considered paraphernalia. So it enhances just having they could have charged him with having paraphernalia. I mean, they could have charged him for more stuff, but they just want to, I guess, charge him for the big thing, and that's what
they could be
so they can plead to something less.
Yeah, they can ratchet this up if they want to. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but I just love that you've got the same attitude I do, where I'm like, I need to move on from this, and then something else happens and you go, all right, fine, one more. Like the speeding ticket thing today. Did you see this?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's cussing at the guy, and then why isn't he paying the insurance? He didn't have an insurance on the thing, and he didn't have his registration up to date. And I get that, you can miss doing that, but he can do it all by mail. He has the money to do it. He's just neglecting that. You can tell things aren't great if you're not even, because I don't like when my register in Texas, if your registration sticker's out, you're going to get pulled over in Dallas, or you're going to get pulled over in University Park where I live too, because they look for that. You have to put a big sticker on your windshield. I imagine it's the same in Kandahohai County or whatever the hell.
We have little stickers on our license plate.
Yeah, you got the sticker on the license plate so they can look at your plate. It's not the right month. Boom, they pull you over immediately for it. And so if he is driving around going to his dealer's house, which is I imagine that he would have to do, or unless the dealer came over there, which is even sketchier.
I never saw that.
So I imagine you're driving with blow and expired registration. What, dude? That's amateur hour, in my personal opinion, when it comes to being a gangsta or whatever, whatever you consider yourself. That's not how gangsters roll. Even the dope dealer probably has his tags up to date. I mean, that's basic 101 if you're driving around with some hot product, as they say on the streets.
Right, some hot product. Yeah, that's what we call it when we're operating. Yeah. No, it's the whole thing's just a fucking mess. And it's interesting to watch because my whole approach towards the April part of it, it's interesting to watch you and Keanu and Gino and other people I know.
Look how terrible this is. April Anderson, Charlotte walked in. Oh my gosh, stop that. Have you been getting 1 million of those? Is that what you've been getting?
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. At least they're paying it. Bring it up. Stuttering John is back because of it. Everyone isn't hating on Stuttering John. Stuttering John gets good viewership. He gets super chats. He's making $300-400 a day. You can't beat that. People don't realize, you can live off that if you don't, blow it. You don't, be a total idiot.
Sure. No, but it's funny to watch you and Gino and Keanu have this change of opinion on April. It's almost like you're gave her chances to redeem herself and she keeps making bad decisions. I can't keep endorsing this. It's funny to watch you guys do it because I've become very apathetic. I kind of washed my hands of it and I just went, we're done. This didn't work. And plus her and I had just so many fights over this very topic that I lost all my energy to either defend or attack. And it's just, I'll watch you guys and see your opinions. Would you like to hear from Keanu? She's calling in right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Keanu, you're on with Alex Stein.
My God, this is harder to get into than the Melton call-in number. Hi, Alex.
Keanu, I listened to your clip today. Paige and I both listened to it. Honestly, we were tickled to death. And no offense, Aaron, we're just laughing at all the drama, the Q cover thing, and I mean, this is not going to stop. Keanu, what do you think? How long is this going to last?
I will not rest until I know. I mean, it's very clear to me what transpired, and maybe even Aaron doesn't see exactly from an outsider's perspective like we do. But I want to know from April, And I miss my friends. And I also miss you. And also
tell Gino I say hi too. But this is what I'm saying is this is why I've lost respect after this clip. Sorry, Aaron. I know you want to speak.
Gino called in a second ago, and I didn't bring him on. I'm sorry.
Well, this is what I'm saying is that when it comes to like the perspective, of course, Aaron's perspective is going to be a little different than ours, but April is at that. I really wanted to be empathetic to April. For some reason, I'm like, oh, she's a little younger. You know, she's like wants to party. She doesn't have any kids, biological kids yet. So she's still kind of in let's have some fun mode, which I don't blame her. You know, she's in her 20s. And so I do feel like I'm saying now I do feel like she's kind of vulnerable and a little bit of I don't know how to explain it. I feel like Nick's giving her drugs and now it's changed the way she is. And I hate that. And that's what I think's happened. No offense, April, if you see this.
Alex, and listen, she is a little younger. There's nothing wrong with none of us have ever been angels the entire time in our entire lives. But something more sinister is going on. They wanted to call their quartet. What was it called? The cover. Yeah. Please. It's very clear what's fucking going on here, and it's fucking I know. Aaron,
you ever have people talk about you like you're not there and you're sitting right there?
I know it's tough, Aaron. It's tough, but we do want the best for you, Aaron. I do. You know, I
did what I did, Alex. I've never run from it.
And you got to keep kind of addressing it, but at some point, though, you know, you got to. I don't know, because it's hard. It's going to be like a broken record with you. I'm sure it already feels like that right now.
And I can't address, I'm choosing not to address certain specifics I've already addressed because I feel like it's on the record and I don't need to say it again. But like when new stuff happens in the story, or if I've got something new to add, or someone pulls something out of me because they ran their mouth a little too much, I mean, that's a little different. But like, as far as the stuff I've said on Worski and PPP's show, on your show, on my show, everywhere else, like that's documented, that's done, and the rest is like added commentary.
Did you guys laugh when Mel was saying you guys cried together?
Oh, me? Yeah, we did cry together. That was an emotional moment because we talked about April. All these people that can't shed a tear, they don't understand what it's like to, you know, live with your heart on your sleeve. So yeah, I wanted to get Aaron emotional. I have to get it emotional. I have to stir the tea, as they say. That's what they call sipping, spilling tea.
Did you cry too, you little bitch?
I was a little emotional too. I was trying to bring it out of you a little. I wasn't that sad, but I was just, you know. I was trying to match your emotion. I wanted you to cry more, Aaron. That was a legendary clip. That now I can tell you're in that was the grief stage. Now you're in the pissed off stage. Whatever. What's that? The rage.
I think I've run through all of them. I think now I'm in the watching stage with everybody else. So.
Are you nervous something new is going to come out? Like, you know, like we said with this traffic ticket, that looked pretty bad, Keanu. And then he didn't go represent April in court. And what kind of attorney does that? And he could go pay like some attorney $100 and that specializes in those tickets. I know those attorneys aren't that expensive. I mean, I see their signs all the time. Pay like $150 and they'll go do it for you. You don't have to go.
I thought it was a beautiful moment when you all cried together, and that vegetable cries by himself at home. Okay. So
do you watch a lot of NLO?
I do, and Aaron even knows this. You know, just soft, but the man makes me laugh. But
he is funny. Patrick's talented.
With that,
I'm saying Patrick's talented. He does a good show. He's been doing it a long time. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think he's hysterical, but he doesn't get it right every time.
I'm just glad I can help. That's all.
You do help. We got to figure out how to get some more of his super chats in your inbox, but we'll figure that out. You just got to keep going. Like I keep saying, I said this earlier. This is like a movie. This will be a Netflix documentary. I imagine in a year or 2 years, whenever it is.
I wonder who will all be played by. You know. Be really
Keanu's already in the movie. Keanu's already got herself in there.
Aaron's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, and then who's your favorite actor? Aaron watches Aaron's favorite thing or movie. So what actor, if you could choose, because you probably know who would play Nick and who would play you, because actors.
I can get my own actor. I mean, God, if I could get a Russell Crowe or something,
that's who you want. But he's kind of big now. You don't have Russell. Who do you actually look like? Because I kind of look like Eli Manning or something.
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson. Yeah.
Oh, Rainn Wilson would be great. Oh my gosh. That would be so funny if you're Dwight Schrute. Oh my God, you look like Rainn Wilson. Clip that. Oh my gosh, Aaron, that's funny. I'd say you're a little more handsome than I'll give you that than Rainn, but you do have Rainn Wilson vibes. So who's Nick? What actor is his? He's kind of like Ryan from The Office, but different.
Tom Hanks at the end of Philadelphia.
Alive, that would be Nick, but unfortunately no.
Wow, that's a funny just to think about that. But it'll, if it doesn't get the live action movie, it will get a documentary because the story is so intriguing to me. I want to keep stepping away. I don't want to watch it. But
it's fun to watch you struggle because I do the same thing. I tell my audience, I go, I know, because so many of my like regulars are getting sick of it, but stuff keeps happening every day, and then it's also hard to pull away because like they were all my friends and I was there. So it's like, this is pretty much at the front of my life a lot of the time. So
yeah, but let's be real. You were the odd man out pretty soon, right? I know you and Kayla were friendly, but I imagine that Nick was so worried about trying to appease Kayla because he was bringing in April that you were probably an afterthought. I'm just guessing that. I don't know that, but I imagine very soon when April and him got together, you're probably like, I'm done, in your mind.
I became a problem because I didn't like the drugs. And also, I don't think I was supposed to I definitely wasn't supposed to influence Kayla as much as I maybe did. Like he started to get really hawkish about like reading her texts and like keeping an eye on
he reads Kayla's phone and text. So he's probably doing that with April.
He and April sat me down while Kayla was sleeping once and said, you two are being too close in public. And when you talk, and you're being too intimate and this and that, and like just sitting down and giving us lectures, and it was so like two people on coke talking, and you're just like, oh my God.
People on cocaine always do crazy business plans. That's what happens. You just talk. Diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah, Nick wrote 4 big letters giving each of us like a nickname, and I was the pugilist. And
wait, slow down, time out. He wrote letters. How cracked out was he?
Okay.
Oh, that's weird as hell. Wait, I didn't know about this. What do you mean? What was this letter supposed to be, like a doctorate, or what was it supposed to be, like a legal tender?
Let me paint the picture for you. We're in the bathroom, and they're doing their thing, and Nick's like, I wrote letters for us. Did you guys want to hear them?
Damn, he really wants an intervention. He's like, he wants people to write him letters. That's reaching out. I mean, okay, but I want to keep hearing that. That's weird to write letters. That's what people do at an intervention. You all write the guy that's cracked out. You write him a letter, how much you love him. Well, so to write somebody a letter, that's weird. There's something weird and manipulative with that, in my opinion.
He wrote letters for all of us about what we were in this whole group, like the cover thing. Our archetype. I was the pugilist because they always used to go to the gym when I would box on Thursdays, and they would go watch that. Then April was. So
you're telling me they'd be coked up at the gym? You're telling me April and Nick could be coked up at the gym just watching you box? Because I box and stuff. Those gyms are kind of grimy. It's fun to watch somebody spar, though. It is interesting to watch that.
Kayla would watch a lot. Nick would watch a little, and then he'd leave and come back. Like April and Kayla would watch the most, and then Nick would kind of be in and out.
Yeah.
I don't think
because you look more manly getting in a ring and punching, getting punched. That's like April probably thought that was masculine of you. It is. People, they talk trash. And that's why I think Milton would have a tough chance. I mean, he would have, even though he's like probably twice your size, he would not have a lot of longevity. So if you could just you could do 2 or 3 minutes. He could do not a minute. So I would really think that you'd have the advantage if it was a proper boxing match. Now, an MMA fight or something, he could tackle you and sit on you. That's, I don't know.
What do you know? Like the athletic ability.
I don't know if he can. I'm just saying that is how a bigger man wins, right? I mean, if you watch all this old UFC fighting when there's no weight limit, you do get a little advantage if you're like 400 pounds and you can grab somebody, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, yeah, so I'm sorry, Alex, but the letters. So I was the pugilist, and then he wrote like a page worth of shit about like your ability to destroy is matched only by your need to educate and blah 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 blah. And like all
this is like Game of Thrones or some RPG role-playing game or something. LARPing.
April was the Valkyrie, and her fierce passion was blah 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 blah.
Do you have these letters? You should have kept these.
I wish I did. I don't remember what Kayla was, and Nick was. Get ready.
See how much you loved her.
You're gonna.
I remember she was a whore. She was a
No, what was she?
I don't remember. But Nick, Alex, was chaos.
No, that's why he likes the Joker vibe. He has that Joker. That's the worst painting. You do the Joker, dude. The Joker is like, I know they made that movie. It seems like he was cool, but like in the comics books, he was terrible. The Joker, he's not a good guy. It's not like, that's not the character arc you want.
Can we skip? Can we just stop? Can we just stop and acknowledge this part? He's 42 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
stop being the Joker by the time we're 42.
I mean, unless he's doing it ironically, which I don't think he is. Like, if he was doing it like as a joke, because there is those guys, they call themselves, and there's multiple people, like the New York Joker or the Miami Joker, and they've made like documentaries, you know, they're like IRL streamers that tattoo their face and stuff. So like, it is a weird mindset. It's like this, to psychoanalyze yourself as the Joker. That's the character you want, the Joker, the guy that's like lighting hospitals on fire and you know, trying to like killing kids, even in the movies. Right. It's not like, I'm not even that big into movies. I know you know it better than me. And it sounds like Nick, is he really into movies as well?
Yeah, relatively so. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why he likes kind of this LARPing or this kind of like whimsical stories. And it's probably why he likes Law, I guess, maybe.
Great word. Yeah.
It's,
but he romanticizes that because he's a freak. Anyway, just called to say hi to you both. Bye,
Good to talk to you, Keanu. Bye, Gino.
Love you guys.
Bye, Gino. Oh.
Well, so they've become your very good friends through all of this. Keanu and Gino have had your back big time.
Gino and Keanu have been.
Who else?
Great. Chrissy's been really great. I don't know if I'm blowing your cover here. You've been awesome.
I've been very nice. Yeah, of course.
Been great. And then just like my normal friends. You know.
Yeah, and you're not internet friends.
Yeah, my family members have been great. God, I feel like
Kino Casino, they've been nice to you. Not really. Have they been mean lately? Their show's dominating. Their show's dominating.
I love Kino Casino. I think they do
very funny.
Show. I think I do disgust Ashton. I think I disgust him.
Oh, really? I've watched your clips on you. I guess I mean, I don't know. Ashton makes me laugh. You know, a lot of times he's really funny, and he is like good at coming up with like descriptions. He's very good at describing people. Yeah. But sometimes he's putting it on. I don't think Ashton probably really hates you. I think
Ashton is. I mean it as a compliment. Ashton's kind of a moral guy. Like he's a religious guy, and I think that what I took part in does disgust him.
That is bad. That is bad. You know, it's not great, but
he's not wrong. Like every time I face criticism for anything, people are like, you did this, you did that. I'm like, right. And I'm not running from it. Like, you're not wrong. Like there's,
oh, wow. $50 super chat. Wow. Okay. Hold on. I got to show this. I haven't even read it. Aaron, consider retiring and getting a real job. You don't make much money and your kids are being damaged. Just will follow them and they'll get bullied. Don't be selfish. Love you, Alex. Wow. But you've been getting that. Thank you for the $50. I'm sure Aaron doesn't feel the same. What do you say to this? I'm sure you've been getting it like crazy.
Maybe he's right. Who knows?
Yeah, but let's not talk about the kids. Your kids will be able to get through this. I mean, come on.
We're not doing, like I said, monetarily, we're doing.
Yeah, and it's gonna be fine, you know. But I guess that's who loses in all this. Let's just be real. Nick's kids, you know, whatever, you know, your kids. They're not gonna get bullied that much. They're not gonna get bullied that much. Even Nick's kids won't even get bullied that much. It'll be talked about, and then it'll move on. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, KM, I will tell you this: what I've done in the real world is going to affect my children far more than any internet stuff that I've done.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay. I mean, listen, you're an entertainer and a shock jock. Your kids will probably understand that you're a goofball. Is that what's her name called you, or what did she call you?
No, Keanu calls me a doofus, but more.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's fair, but I'm saying, you know, well, but you're saying I don't think that, you know, you're not a banker, you're not an attorney, you know, you're not, well, attorney, it's funny I say that, but my point is, like, you know, that you're a interesting person. You're going to be unique, like a reality TV show character. So I think your kids will be just fine. And Nick's, I think they'll be fine.
Well, hopefully. I do. I really do. Like, look, man, I hope everybody gets clean. I hope everybody's okay. But I like in this way things are going now, I just believe it's the wrong direction. What can you do?
And you don't want to try to reach out to, you would never reach out to Nick. You think him self-sabotaging, that's kind of entertaining to you, if we're being real?
Look, I'll say this. I've been making fun of Nick day after day, week after week, kind of humiliating him. And like I said on the show today, for one reason, I'm really enjoying it. That's it.
He's screwed. Gosh, y'all should have never swapped. He picked the wrong guy. And this is April's fault. Nick is probably, using all of his voodoo magic or whatever you want to call it, but, writing letters, doing weird spells, and probably drinking potions. But April should be better than this. April, if you see this, it's like you're the third wheel, and Kayla should have a little more self-respect. No offense, Kayla, I don't know you, but it's like this is like sister wife stuff. And if you've ever watched reality TV, it never works out. The sister wives are never actually friends. Sometimes they're cordial to each other because they're both being manipulated by the person, oftentimes in that situation. And I imagine there's maybe some similar parallels to this, but I'm just speculating that, and this is all alleged.
No, I think you've nailed it. I think you're actually right on. I think you've got the right idea. And I will say, when I get into the actual people and what they should do and this and that, I think I'm so it's fun for you guys, but that's the part that I'm actually burnt out on, where I'm like, I don't care anymore. I don't care what happens to them as people, because you tried. Like I said on your show last time, I tried to help. I tried to say this was the wrong way. I tried to reach out. So now I'm just watching it with everybody else. And I'm now.
And you're dating now. You've moved on. You should. You need to go date somebody or do something. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah. I've spent some time with a very lovely girl lately.
Well, just to get your mind off it, I'm not even saying you should maybe run back right into a relationship. If I'm just talking to you like a man, maybe you're probably not even emotionally ready, but you should maybe date. Go. Just get your mind off it, because I know breakups are tough. You've gone through them before, but now that this feeling that your ex is with another guy that's probably not treating her great according to you, it probably does. That has to bug you. Let's be real. That would bug me, even if I don't like my ex. It's just kind of I'm saying it's just kind of a weird feeling. And now you're probably like F April and F Nick, but then now you hate them. It's just a weird feeling. I just know you're going through it. And I just very empathetic. I hate breakups.
The only thing, it's not hatred. The only thing is I took responsibility. None of them have. They lost their 5 kids, and that's frustrating to me. That pisses me off a little bit. It's take responsibility, own what you did, work on getting your kids back, and take the punishment. You're like you said, if you would have fessed up to this, you're not going to go to jail. The state of Minnesota wants to give you your kids back, but they want you to go to rehab. They want you to admit you have a problem. They want you to get better. Do that and you'll be fine. But I guess maybe you just get in too deep, and then you feel like you can't turn around. See, that's what I think April's thing is, and not to speak for her, but my theory is that she feels like she's fucked up her life so bad now that she has to lean into this. And this is the only, she has to tie herself to this because there's nothing else. And that's not true.
Yeah. Her dad seems like a nice guy. Could she not go stay at her dad's for a little bit?
She absolutely could. I spoke to him before the arrest when I said, look, man, I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm out, but here's what's going on, and you might want to help out here.
Does he have a farm or a ranch or something? What is it?
They have land out in
whatever. I'm just saying, but she probably does not want to go back and stay with her dad.
He's a hardworking guy, and they would help her. They would support her, and he's a good guy, and he's the one who told me. He goes, look, I'm not stupid. I saw you guys. I knew there was something up.
He watches the show. He was watching the show. Oh, he saw you in real life.
Or when we would go over there.
Yeah.
Over to their house, he'd be like, my daughter couldn't sit still, and this, that, and the other thing.
Oh, he noticed it. He said that April's dad said that he noticed that she was different.
Yeah, and he's a good man. So
does he drink? Does he kind of a party guy?
Not really. Doesn't really party. No. He'll have a drink, but he's not really a party guy.
No, he's not. I just didn't know because it's a lot of people that hunt and do all that stuff. The drinking's kind of a big part of that culture. That. You're out in the woods in a deer blind. I imagine April, if she went to those deer blinds, and this is once again, I keep saying the speculation, she was probably doing rails and drinking beer if she's in a cold deer blind in February or wherever.
Well, you can't. Well, here's the deal. I don't think so. Well, I would go hunting with her a lot of the time, and the season was kind of over by the time this all happened. It didn't
yeah, but you said that she was going to that hunting camp earlier. If I hope I didn't out of school or anything, but didn't you say that she had gone to that camp before y'all even kind of started hanging out?
Yeah, she went there a couple of times.
And that she didn't do any blow then?
I'm not sure if she did. Then she's an amazing actress, because the first night I saw her do it was very much her behavior it was the first time she had ever done it. So, but I don't know. I can't say for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. I mean, listen, April, whenever she started, it doesn't really matter. She still started doing it. And it gets where it's not fun anymore. And I'd have to imagine they're at that stage where it's not fun right now.
Right. I mean, it's hard to get inside someone's head when they're in that place. Like, what is enough? They always say everyone's bottom is different. But
yeah, and Nick still has money, and I'm guessing April's living off that money, you would guess, or what, other than the 6,000 she took from you or whatever?
somewhere between 4 and 6. Yeah. I mean,
so, but I'm saying that's only going to last a month, 2 months. Well, I know she's probably not paying rent or whatever, but that's,
yes,
that's a lot of money, but it's not going to last that long if she's just not working and doing anything.
No. She has a pretty nice ring she could sell.
Which she might. See, that's the kind of, she probably is going to do that, some therapeutic thing. But knowing them, I wouldn't be surprised if Nick had called, some alchemist to come melt it down and create like a Baldo out of it or something. I mean, they're doing
Baldo out of the ring. Oh,
they're doing stuff that I've never even imagined doing. And I mean this, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but y'all are swinging and Nick's doing all kinds of hedonism. I couldn't go to hedonism. I'd be scared to death. I mean, did he ever tell you about what happened at hedonism? I got to know. He had to have told you about what happened at hedonism.
I'm just going to say this. I may not like any of these people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to drive you and people on the internet crazy. I will probably take the hedonism stories to my grave.
They were that wild.
Not wild. Too humiliating. I don't want to humiliate anyone. And that's where I'll leave it. Who
told you the stories? Kayla or Nick told you the stories? Yeah. Yeah, because they did that awkward stream. Like, I'm finding all this out after the fact. They did kind of have a weird stream where they did seem a little lit, I guess you would say, on that stream.
It's if I told you privately and swore you to secrecy.
I don't even need to know. I don't even want to know. I keep on saying I'm out of the Nick business and I am Nick. I just had to talk.
If I told you the story, you would go, I understand why you'll never tell that story on the air.
Save it for a different day. I don't even want to hear it. I've heard enough. It's not even poor Nick. It's poor April's just ruined her life temporarily. Hopefully, you can always come back from this. I'm not just saying that. But she's just like not answering people, is she in the house next door? Supposedly that's what it is.
That's what I would believe. Like I said, my insurance company called me and said they had sent a claims check
to that address. I think you said it's a P.O. box.
A P.O. box in Spicer. And I was like, well, if she's living with her parents in Litchfield, it wouldn't go to
She wouldn't mail it to Spicer.
Right, yeah.
And so she's probably gonna stay there for a minute. I mean, who knows? Maybe can you have multiple wives in Minnesota?
No, you cannot. No. But I think she, at least at one point, in my opinion, was angling for the top spot.
Yeah, she wants to be the top. Yeah, she wants to be the
backed off that or not, but she was angling. And honestly, for Kayla, it would be a better idea to just cut your losses and go out and just maybe let that happen. You could get away and get your fucking kids back.
But Kayla probably doesn't want to go out there and date. She probably, she probably wants to. She has this connection, 5 kids with the guy. That's probably going to last longer than April and Nick. Unfortunately, they don't probably feel like that. They're still kind of the honeymoon stage or whatever you want to call it of a new relationship, but that's going to wear off.
I was there, and I don't know how you people talking about it, like you get to that part, and that's where I go, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, I don't know how you're not exhausted when you get to that part. I was there, and when you're like, what are they going to do? The 3 of them, there's a side piece, there's a wife. What are they? My head starts to spin, and I go, I don't envy anyone in that situation.
Well, and when you got with Kayla, did she like love bomb you or whatever? Did you guys just like instantly start? I mean, I don't know if you said I love you. I mean, did you say I love you to Kayla?
We both did, yeah.
No, you did not. You guys were saying I love you. So was he saying I love you to April in front of you?
I don't know. Like in front of me?
Like, would he be like, I love you, April? Did you ever say I love you, Kayla, in front of Nick?
I don't think so, no.
Because that's too awkward. That's more weird. Awkward than sex. That's more awkward probably than the sex is saying I love you. But you said that. You and Kayla said that. Were you guys on Molly, MDMA, I'm guessing?
I don't know. It got weird, dude.
That's what you do. When you're on Molly, you start saying I love you. But wow. So it went like that. You guys really did hit it off. But she's probably just y'all trauma bonding, though.
That was me, definitely, because I was watching my wife fall deeper into the clutches of substances. So this other person was being very nice to me and saying, like, you're a good man and all that. That's all it takes when you're in that mindset. You're like, I'm going to spend a lot of time with this person. So trauma bonding is a good way to put it. But did she love me? The more I think about it now, no. I think she was keeping me happy. I also think that she would have loved anyone who wasn't Nick at that time.
Do you think Nick has had a lot of guys blast his wife?
There are a lot of stories that I will take to my grave.
Yeah, we don't have to hear them. We can just
there are
it's up for anybody's guess. Well, we don't know, but
you guys go ahead and theorize how you will. I will say this: I'm not answering that question in the affirmative or negative.
It's just insane.
Don't know. How about that? I don't know.
That's better. That's better.
I know I've been there. That's it.
And I mean, I don't know why he's going to continue to stream. I heard you saying that you like it when he streams. You think it's funny. Do you watch it live or do you just go back and watch the clips?
I watch clips because I can't watch it. I've always found him, even when we were friends, like I always found him very boring and not very entertaining. So.
What's that stream? That was a weird stream where Nick is in his underwear. That was weird, dude, where he licked you. How messed up were you guys then? I just saw that clip the other day.
I wasn't. I was fucking annoyed. And I was like, can we just do a fucking show and then we can go back to hanging out? Like, could you just fucking, get out of here? Because I'm like you. I don't like going on air and being inebriated. I feel dull. I don't feel as sharp. It's not good. So if you saw me on air outside of alcohol or anything, and that was even rare, I was not on anything.
Okay, so if we do this tour, I mean, I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, I don't know if I guess I'm sharing audio. But so this is how the studio looks. So he would sit there, and then what you're telling me, April would sit like over on this chair, just that little chair right there.
Second mic goes.
Where's the okay? Yeah, she would sit in the corner.
And I thought that room was a little bigger. I mean, this room is not.
Oh, it's not very big. It's not,
and it doesn't even have a ceiling. I mean, he posted it didn't have a ceiling. It is in the basement. Where is that clip? He shows a ceiling. Hold on, let me find it. I thought that was a little.
People also pointed out that he said he was getting rid of all liquor. Yeah, look at that. He said he was getting rid of all liquor in the studio, and then people found a couple of Whistle Pig boxes up top over here. And they said, "Oh, did you really get rid of all the booze, or is there? It seems like there might be a little bit more."
He looks like he's a little inebriated.
And then, of course, there would be a mic here. And if I have a guest, there's a chair for the guest. And
a guest. I love that.
Guest.
Yeah, a guest.
Obviously.
What kind of door is that? That's a weird door.
It's a safe. It's a safe door.
Oh, that's a safe. I was about to say.
Right there, in front of the cool door. But
is that where the stuff was in that safe?
No.
Oh, it was just up in his bedroom. Yeah.
I mean, he would. He would bring it down. But
it's.
Doesn't he sound a little funny in this video?
In this area, back here.
I don't know. Yeah, he always sounds. He could also be jittery. He could be nervous. He could be. There's a bunch of things that could be. Who knows what's going through that guy's mind now? Because he's always putting on a front.
And his studio doesn't look any different. He just changed the Joker painting. Why is he doing? And he's standing up in that weird room with those things behind him, and he's like always bending over. He has more professionalism as a broadcaster than that. It's very unusual.
Yeah. Well, and the camera's not even down there. Like it's not even set up to be ready to go. He's got his camera upstairs in the other thing where he's been doing it in front of the windows and shit.
But you know what I'm talking about? Where he was like bending down on one stream. I just saw clips. He kept bending down. I'm like, dude, set it up where you don't have to keep bending down. I mean, put like your laptop on some books or so. I don't know how it's set up, but I could imagine that it's not that good and you're constantly going like this on a stream. I mean, it just doesn't look right. He's better than that.
Yeah. We are now on 1 hour of Alex not wanting to talk.
I know. Well, we can keep going for a little bit longer. We're almost at 500 people on my stream. Do you have to go? Did you get enough super chats?
I probably have to run in about 5 or 10 minutes.
All right, we'll wrap things up. Thank you for coming on. I'll do some call-ins. But listen, you're right. I didn't really want to get too deep into it, but I just it's so interesting.
I think it's fun.
And I don't know what else to tell you other than I would talk about it because you were already talking about your life before. So all the haters that are like, you're just talking about it. You're like, well, go watch my show before this. I was pretty honest. And I said I did pretty, wild stuff. So for the people that are hating on you for that, I mean, there's stuff that they can probably hate on you. It is not good to swap, but you're in a weird place where your relationship is kind of failing, and like, you know, you're just trying new things out. It was obvious that the relationship was probably over at that point. Yeah. And then you got a little bit of Kayla, and you know that probably ended up backfiring, and you know, with you in a weird way, just like any relationship backfiring. So I just think it's a lover's quarrel.
I just look, it was, don't ever look at me and think I'm trying to play the good guy.
Well, you're being better than them, and I'm not trying to kiss your butt. I'm saying at least you're being honest and saying you want to do better.
I'm saying if we're setting the bar at like regular morality, I'm still not clearing it. But like, yeah, I mean, you compare it to them. It depends on the perspective you're taking. One thing I did want to point out, you mentioned, you know, oh, people hating on you on the internet. I also have to take responsibility for this. I do have an abrasive, confrontational personality. So like, it's going to rub some people the wrong way always. I come off
me too,
dick sometimes. But one thing I do love about the internet, and you and I talked about this before, is the tattletales. Like, they don't let you bust anyone's balls on any show without going to that person and going, oh, this person's talking shit about you. Like, somebody was, I told you, somebody was writing into me and they were going, Alex was being a fucking dick to you on Kino Casino.
No, I wasn't. I don't think I was mean at all to you on Kino Casino.
Watch the clip, because every time people write that, I go, all right, bullshit. I go and watch the clip, and you guys are literally, it's just a few dudes like making fun of me. Like
a little bit. I don't think I made fun of you that bad at all, to be honest. I'm not just saying that.
You were making jokes at my expense for something.
Yeah, I probably made a couple jokes, you know, that this wasn't a good thing. But no, like I said, I was kind of, well, let me just say this. I was kind of empathetic to April, but now after seeing what I've seen, April's really big time in the wrong, in my opinion, in all of this.
Best of luck to all of them. But I just, the people who like tattletale and complain like that, I always go, do you guys not like bust your friends' balls? Do you not make fun of your own friends? Like, do you not tease them about shit they do wrong? It's just, it's odd to me. Like, I get the same thing about Chrissy. People are like, Chrissy's trashing you right now. I went and watched it, and he's like, yeah, Aaron did a shitty job as a husband. I'm like, well, yeah, I thought that was pretty self-evident. I thought that was pretty obvious. It's like everyone wants to tattle and rat, and then you go watch and you're like, yeah, these people, I'm either friendly or they're my friends, and they have criticism of their friends. Or jokes. That's fine.
I love this steel toe Russell Crowe. That's what I meant to click. That's so funny. We asked Aaron who would play him. Immediately, Russell, you must love Gladiator. But Dwight Schrute, Rainn Wilson did all the way.
It's got to be Rainn Wilson. That's got to be the way to go. But yeah, no, Russell Crowe, fucking dude, fuck Gladiator, man. I like the 2010 Robin Hood, for God's sake. Like,
see, I've never seen that movie. You are a movie freak. Did you seen every movie? You've watched every movie, don't you?
Ridley Scott movies: Kingdom of Heaven, Orlando Bloom, Jeremy.
Is that where they're in heaven? What is that? Or what? I don't even know.
About the Crusades. It's that. You probably like it.
My favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. Probably that's one of my favorite movies. But see, Quentin Tarantino got confronted by Crackhead Barney. I'm going to play that clip later. All right, Aaron, I know you got to go. Thank you for hopping on, talking about it. You know, like I said, if Nick sees this, I'm really trying to get out of the Nick Rekieta business. I'm in more of the steel toe business. So that's really kind of just want to get it from Aaron's perspective, not necessarily Nick, but sadly, you kind of come up when I'm asking Nick. I mean, when I'm asking Aaron about Nick, it's kind of inevitable. But honestly, Nick, I don't wish you any harm. I hope you can get your life back on track and fixing sooner than later, for sure.
Yeah, Nick, keep streaming, buddy. You're fighting a good fight.
Keep streaming. I will say that. Keep getting the super chats, even though it doesn't seem like you need them, dude. And if you don't need the money, maybe just a little advice: take a little break off the internet. I mean, you know, you don't have to be a working stiff. Like you're rich, supposedly. Take a break.
He's on drugs, Nick. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
All right, later, buddy.
See ya. All right, that was Aaron from Steel Toe. Did you guys not like that? I saw the chat. You guys were kind of hating on that. Were you guys hating on that? I like Aaron. I think this whole story is interesting. Yeah, let me see what the chat is saying, though. I mean, you know, I do want to stop talking about this subject, but, you know, it is interesting. I mean, look at Nick. Just him looking at that. It's just so unironically hilarious. I don't know what to do. All right. I'm not a snake. Somebody called me a snake. Yeah, right. No, I'm not. This is freaking one of the most popular things on the internet. We got to talk about it a little bit. Roosevelt Media News. Alex loves the drama. Well, yeah, duh. Everybody likes drama. Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend. Somebody says drama is gay. Yeah, I guess a little bit. But, you know, people love the, what is it called? The rag section or whatever. People like tabloids. That's just human instinct. So let's not pretend. We can all pretend, and we can all be like on virtue signal and say, I would never talk about another person on the internet, but we're talking about people that put their whole entire life on the internet. So it's not like these are necessarily private people. These are people that are like well known on the internet. So, you know, it is what it is all I'm saying. Steel Toe has a humiliation fetish, somebody says. What's Elm? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I mean, it is kind of humiliating to share your wife. I think he admits that now, and he just kind of wants to move on. I don't think he'll do that again. Maybe he will. I don't know. But I think Aaron probably is going to be a much different person after all this is said and done than he is currently at this moment.